everyone, and I'm Trackmaster 914 back with another video. Now, this video is I'm gonna be pretty much gonna talk about the worst paint scheme for every driver, or pretty much every number this year. In 2020. In 2020, not this year, but 2020. This is something I wanted to do for a while now, but I never, for some reason, I just never got around to doing it. But finally, I'm gonna do it. And oh man, some of these are really bad, but yeah, let's just get right into it. Actually, a quick disclaimer: All-Star race paint schemes are not gonna count because honestly, if it was up to me, pretty much almost all of them would be on this list for like every driver who's in the All-Star, who like did the All-Star race or even did the All-Star Open. So yeah, quick disclaimer. Oh, and also throwback schemes don't count either because throwback schemes, like some of those schemes that they're throwing back to, they don't pass for today's standards when it comes to paint schemes anyway. So it's not like, I feel like that's not really fair, you know what I mean? So anyway, onwards with the video. Now for the Quinn House scheme from 2020, I feel like the Good Greek one, I don't know, I felt like it was lacking a tad bit. I mean, it has quite a bit of design, but I don't know, I just feel bored looking at this thing. I mean, there are quite a few bad ones from Quinn House, but I feel like those at least had some to them. They weren't really boring, but that's all I gotta say about this one. Oh, sorry, there was another disclaimer I forgot to mention, as there's some drivers who had like, or all their paint schemes are so good that that none of them are really genuinely bad. I just put one in this list just for the sake of, putting like the worst one from each driver, but that doesn't mean it's actually awful. Like this Kurt Busch scheme, for example. The only paint schemes he ran this in 2020 was the Gear Wrench scheme and the Monster Energy scheme, and honestly, they're both really good. So I literally just went down to nitpicking the placement of support sponsors, which is Clover, and even then I don't hate it. I don't know. I just prefer the one that had, I don't know. Like I said, it just came down to some stupid nitpicking with this one. So this one is an interesting case. So if you guys know the Alliance paint scheme, I actually have it as a diecast 2016 one. Now this is alright. So you're probably wondering, why is it here? Well, what I don't like about it is that at some point they decided to do this to it. Why? Now for those who don't know, Western Star is a semi-truck company, and they mainly make semi-trucks. I'm not sure if they make anything else, but anyway, yeah. This is literally just the Alliance paint scheme, but they slapped Western Star on the hood instead of Alliance. I mean, Alliance is still on this car, but on the side as like a supporting sponsor. What the heck? Did they run out of resources? Like, what? Why? Okay, listen. You know what? To put this short, I don't hate this paint scheme. In fact, there are actually a few other Brad Keselowski paint schemes from 2020 that are worse than this, but I put it on this mainly for being really uncreative, I guess. Like I said, again, this paint scheme overall is not terrible. Just, I feel like they could have done so much more with like a Western Star paint scheme, especially since it blends in with the hood anyway. It's really tough to see it, especially since in this picture here, it even shows it like in a night race. How many people are gonna see that? But whatever. I think it's alright, just very uncreative, so I put it here. There were a few other contenders as well, but I forgot about them, so. Anyway, on with the Austin Dillon one, and now to be honest, there were quite a few contenders for this one, like the rig-up scheme they ran in Kentucky, final Kentucky race, and the American Ethanol scheme, which honestly I feel like looks kind of bland. You're thinking, what about the Simicourt scheme? Well, actually, that one, they actually improved it. So yeah, this scheme overall, I don't know, doesn't feel right. I feel like it just feels bland. I don't know. Vora Surf. I'm not sure what they do, but yeah. Dow, I feel like Dow could have done better, especially with that. Like, Dow actually had a decent paint scheme in 2020, especially at one where like they switched the red in with the white, where it was like sort of black and white. I think it was Scuff Defense version. Anyway, that was pretty cool. This one, honestly, I don't know. I got nothing for this one. Anyway, next one. Now, overall, I loved all of Kevin Harvick's paint schemes from 2020, especially all the Busch Beer paint schemes. They were all absolutely phenomenal. I actually wanted to try and get them all as diecast, which would be tough, but I'm willing to wait. But and even the Hunt Brothers Pizza paint scheme is kind of bland. Well, it's bland. It's actually all right, but it's kind of bland in comparison to all the Busch Beer paint schemes from 2020. But this one, I didn't even know he raced at all. The Hunt Brothers Pizza paint scheme, but with eye fields on the side, it feels like they're trying to merge stuff together. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. Anyway, on to the next car already. I have nothing to say about this one. I really don't have much to say about this one. I mean, it's just plain red, and even then the logo doesn't look all that great. I don't know. This one just seems really bland. Like the Acronis scheme he drove in Kentucky, I mean, that had creativity to it. You know, it has navy blue, which I'm not a fan of, but yeah. Now, the 7 car was driven by a bunch of different drivers in 2020, but this scheme in particular was driven by Josh Bilicki, and honestly, this has to be some of the worst camo scheme I've ever seen. It's like it wants to be camo, at the same time doesn't want to. I don't know, not much to say about this one either. I can't even see what the sponsor is. I don't recall this scheme either, but this has to be one of the worst RCR paint schemes of 2020. My goodness, what were they trying to do? And honestly, yes, I do think it's worse than the Chevy truck accessories scheme. I am sick and tired of seeing that thing, man. Even the Cat App paint scheme was pretty close to being on this list, but honestly, the black and yellow still looks great. They didn't, it just lacks design, really. It doesn't look bad, I don't know. Now for the Chase Elliott one, I really couldn't find a generally bad one except for the one he raced at Phoenix when he got the title. Honestly, it's like his typical Napa scheme, except for some reason they gave him the Jimmy Johnson yellow. Yes, Jimmy Johnson has his own yellow now. I'm calling it. Yeah, it just doesn't look right with the Napa sponsor. Like, what were they doing? I'm sorry, it just doesn't look right to me. It's not really awful. I just cringe at this thing. Yeah, I just cringe so bad. This next one is just hands down the blandest paint scheme. One of the most bland paint schemes of 2020. What the heck is this? And worst of all, they drove this at the Clash at Daytona, that shootout race at Daytona. And wow, that's how you start the season with this scheme? Really? Don't have much to say about Denny Hamlin one either. It's just kind of all over the place. Especially with how they put the port. I know that's supposed to be ribbon back there, but I don't know. This seems off. All the Ryan Blaney schemes actually look pretty cool in 2020. And even this one, kinda. Just, I don't know. Because none of them are genuinely bad, I went for this one because it's just really confusing to me. But that's just about it. The same kind of goes for the Ty Dillon scheme as this one. It's just stupidly hilarious and nothing else really. And this one isn't too bad either, but just my nitpick, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like something's off about that green, the kind of green they used. I don't know, I don't hate this one, I'm just confused. I have to admit, Premium Motorsports actually put some decent paint schemes out there. This one isn't bad either, just have to pick, you know, the least favorite one. It's not really bad. I mean, sure, there's some plain white ones, but honestly, not counting cars that don't have like sponsors on them, because you know these black market teams don't have much sponsors. Can't really go at them for having like a plain car. You know what I mean? Okay, so more nitpicking, because honestly, they can't really go at them for this, because I know why there's pink there, because like this is in October, if I have breast cancer, but. And honestly, Sunny D scheme overall is one of the best schemes out there. This is literally just nitpicking. None of the paint schemes look bad. Or maybe the Fastenal. Actually, maybe the Fastenal one's worse than this. I don't know. That's just me. But I was so close to putting the Skittles Zombies paint scheme on this list solely because it seems like Skittles just running out of ideas at this point. But that honor goes to the Pedigree scheme. And simply put it, I feel like they could have done more with it. I don't know. Just something does not look right. Honestly, in my opinion, all the MTJ paint schemes look great. Even this one. So honestly, I'm just nitpicking again, just saying. I feel like there should have been more blue to this. That's it. I like this scheme as well. I just needed to put something here. I think like that was my least favorite for a driver. So there you go. Just feel like it needs more blue. Behold, Eric Jones, his tub of potato salad. Why is that in the back? Honestly, this scheme is good as well. What kills it for me is how there's a tub of potato salad on the back there. Sort of behind the rear. If you look, the rear tire is. Look there. That's the potato salad. Why? What is that? That's what kills the scheme for me. Because without that, I think the scheme is great. Now, what on earth is this? This is after the whole Black Lives Matter thing in like June or July. So, what's the excuse here? There's nothing into this. Like, what? So newfordtech.com, they could have done so much better. I literally have nothing to say about it because nothing's there. But anyways, more nitpicking here. And again, really, I just had to pick one. I feel like I should have put the Prince-Oil scheme, the one that's just plain yellow, but I don't know. Like I said, I just had to pick one, and they're sort of tied for least favorite in my opinion. So I put this one. I don't know. Okay, now I almost put the Kobe Bryant tribute car solely because it looked a bit too much like blue instead of purple. But honestly, I didn't feel like touching that, and even then, I kind of need new glasses anyway, so I'm probably just seeing it wrong. So this one, I feel like they could have done better with the Patriot team. None of them are really bad. Even the Hertz one, because at the very least it has like those Camaro stripes, sort of. How is it out of all the schemes that was sponsoring the 27 car? How is it this is the only one that didn't really have a sponsor on it, but still no design to it? That's pretty much why I'm putting it on here, because it doesn't fit in with, I don't know, just kind of bland like that, the Benedetto car. Now this next scheme doesn't need any sort of explanation as to why it's on this list. NASCAR LaJoy car. Yeah, enough said. I really don't want to talk about this. Look, I like good blue. I do like blue paint schemes, but you all know why it's on this list in particular. Just look at it and the story. Now, I honestly feel like there's nothing bad about this Michael McDowell paint scheme in particular. I just feel like there's too much going on with it. Yeah, because I feel like there's a bunch of blue. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know. Look, another one I don't really hate. It's just, I feel like there's too much going on with it. And another scheme, well, actually this one, I kind of don't like. It just feels, it's just a weird blend of colors. I know it's what it is for like the can that they show there. Or maybe it's the way they clash the colors, how they spread it on the car. I don't know. I don't really like this one. The phenomenal Speedy Cash paint scheme. Now, honestly, a lot of people hate this one. Wouldn't be shocking that it's on this list, but surprisingly, it's not on this list. I actually kind of like it, or at least the green. So it's actually this scheme that's on the list. I don't really have anything to say about it. Just looks kind of bland to me. Okay, honestly, this scheme isn't that bad. I put this one on this list instead of the Autodesk one because honestly, I feel like it's really bad the fact that Rick Ware Racing did a better job at a paint scheme for this particular sponsor. Come on, like they couldn't do better. I don't really hate any of the Kyle Larson or Matt Kansas paint schemes for the 42 card, but a lot of people don't seem to like this one with the orange 42. So I guess the next one just feels so lousy. It's plain green, which I don't hate, but what really gets me is that signature Richard Petty slashes there. But it's just brighter green. Like, what? Are you serious? Whatever, I'm just gonna move on before I lose it. Once again, I had to pick that one paint scheme in particular, but honestly, I don't really hate it, so. Now, I honestly thought this one would be tough because he's only had 3 different schemes. The black, black and purple, the white and purple, and the gray one. But this one, I don't know. I guess there's certain design to it on the side there. He drove this one in Las Vegas, I guess. And I'm not really a fan of it much. I don't know. I thought all the schemes were okay for Jimmy Johnson in 2020. Honestly, kind of slept on a lot of paint schemes. The one I slept on most for a 51 car was this one. Honestly, I'm just nitpicking again. I mean, it's a smaller team, sort of. So I'm not really expecting too much. But why is it plain black? Or at least for Jacobs Construction, a sponsor where they actually have decent paint schemes for the sponsor. But yeah, whatever. I mean, there was a yellow scheme that I would have put on here, but it actually stood out a lot more as opposed to this one, so I put this one on the list. Now, once again, I don't need to explain why this one is on the list. There were schemes that looked worse than minus the Trump 2020. There are schemes that looked worse than this particular paint scheme. If you erased the Trump 2020 on it. So, enough said. Now, usually I'd say that they should have done better with it, like put some design, but they did. So I'm curious what this is. I'm not sure about this one. I just put this because it looks sort of bland compared to plain red. That's what I'm trying to find a reason for this. Okay, now you could probably argue that the Planter's paint scheme is kind of really basic because there's not much design to it, but at least it keeps its colors consistent. But this scheme, however, is just, for some reason, has faded blue for the numbers, and it doesn't really make sense to me. I'm sorry, Christopher Bell. Your schemes are great, but this one, I don't know, not too happy about it. I don't know. I just can't find myself liking this thing. So, and last but not least, we're gonna end this video with the most boring paint scheme of them all. The NASCAR, I think the NASCAR Foundation. I don't know. I can't read it. Like, that's the problem with this. I can't read it. It just like for some reason like first of all, the letters aren't even in bold, and even though it's not bold, it's gray, which makes it worse. I can only read what's on the side there, but whatever's on the hood, like someone's gonna have to tell me what's on the hood, or I'm gonna have to recheck the site that this picture was on. But my goodness, this is just so bland. And thing is, Suarez schemes are actually pretty good, despite them being with like Gaunt Brothers Racing. But oh my gosh, I can't take this seriously. This is kind of awful, like really awful. But you know what, that wraps up this video. Now let me know down below which scheme you think was the worst instead of whatever picks I made. So thanks for watching.